Hey calculus, or excuse me, hey algebra, we're going to now use the distributive property and combining like terms to answer a couple of these questions below. So now we're going to continue to solve equations, and now I have this 5 times 1 plus 4 times b in parentheses equals 85. What I'm going to do to start, like I said in our steps, step 1, distribute. So if I see these parentheses being multiplied by a value, I'm going to distribute that value. So I have to do 5 times 1 and 5 times 4b. 5 times 1 is 5, and then 5 times 4b is 20b. And then I'm going to bring down the equals 85. So all I did is rewrite the left side. The right side's still 85. Then, like we've been doing before, I want to get b by itself, so we have to use inverse operations. I'm going to first subtract 5 on both sides to get rid of that 5 on the left. Now, on the left side, I didn't touch the 20b yet. That's still there. And then 85 minus 5 is just 80. Right, now I have 20 times something equals 80. What number times 20 equals 80? We divide both sides by 20. We get that b must be 4. Okay. This next example, same idea. Again, we have this parentheses being multiplied by 8. So if I have 8 of these, that means I'm going to have 8 b's. And I'm going to have 8 4s, which is 32. And this is equal to 88. So just like we've been doing, we're going to subtract 32 on both sides next. 32 minus 32 is 0, so we just get 8b plus 0, but I don't need to write the plus 0. And then 88 minus 32 is 56. Divide both sides by 8. And then we get b equals 7. Okay. One more example. I have 4 times 3b minus 5. Again, we're going to distribute the 4 into the parentheses. I have 4 3b's, so that's really 12b. And 4 5's, that's really 20. And that equals negative 92. Now to get rid of the minus 20, add 20 on both sides. And if I'm going too fast in the video, feel free to pause it. But I do want to make sure you guys have time to write all the steps so you have it to refer to later on. Bring down the 12b. Negative 92 plus 20 is going to give me negative 72. And then last step, divide both sides by 12. And negative 72 divided by 12 is negative 6. Okay. These ones down here, you guys are going to try on your own. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So that's the distributing property. And then we're going to solve some equations with like terms. And so when you have like terms, what I'm saying is you have terms that both have an x in it or both are just numbers, we can combine them into just one term. For example, in this first equation, I have 1 plus 5x plus 1x. Well, if I have 5x's and I add another x, that's just the same thing as 6x. So this just becomes 6x. And then I bring down the 1 and still is equal to 19. So that's like that thing that we've been doing on the homeworks, combining like terms. And now it's just like the problems we've been doing, subtract 1 on both sides to get rid of the plus 1. So 6x equals 18. And then divide by 6 on both sides, and we get 18 equals, excuse me, not 18, x equals 3. Okay? So just combining like terms. And now here I see a 6x and a minus 4x. Now if I combine those, if I have 6x's and I take away 4x's, now I just have 2x's. And then back to the basics. 2 times something plus 4 equals negative 12. We're going to subtract 4 on both sides. And then it just becomes a two-step equation again. So I bring down the 2x, negative 12 minus 4 is negative 16. And then just divide both sides by 2. And then we're going to get negative 16 divided by negative 2 is negative 8. Okay. And minus 2x plus 7x. If I had negative 2x's and I add 7x's, that's just 5x's in total. Equals 10. So 5 times what equals 10? I mean, that's just 2. I'm not even going to bother doing the division step. I can do that one in my head. These ones are for you to try and see what you can get. Make sure you show your work. This last little piece that I'm going to do is when we have variables on both sides of the equation, and it's not really that much different than we've been doing. Like I said, distribute first, combine like terms, and then get your variables on one side. So there's no like terms of distributing to be done here. But if you look on this side of the equation, on both sides of the equation, there's an x here and an x here. So if I want to get them on one side of the equation, one thing I can do to both sides is, take that out of there, subtract x. Now if I subtract x on one side, I have to do it to the other side. But x minus x, even though I don't know what the number is, a number minus itself is always going to be 0. So that's still going to become 0. Now 2x's take away an x, that just leaves me with 1x. And now I'm just going to bring down the 12 and bring down that 6. That's still on the right side. So now I have my x's on one side. Now it comes down to those classic two-step equations. Subtract 12 on both sides to get rid of the 12. Now I'm going to bring down the 1x. But remember, 1 times anything is just that number. So I don't even need to bring down the 1. I can just call this x. And 6 minus 12 is negative 6. Okay? And that's it. So same idea here. If I split this into two pieces, there is an n on both sides. I want to get them all to one side. So I can always bring this term to the other side, or I can bring the minus 5n to the other side. I always like to bring the smaller n to the side of the bigger n. It just allows me to deal with less negatives. So negative 5n is smaller than negative 2n. So if I add this to both sides, minus 5n plus 5n, that's going to give me 0 n's. And again, 0 n's is just 0. So that allows me to eliminate the 5n on the left side. Now on the right side, negative 2 n's plus 5 n's is just 3 n's. Bring down the minus 2, and the equals negative 8. And now it's just another two-step equation. Add 2 to both sides. And we get 3n. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. And then divide both sides by 3. And we get n equals negative 2. Okay. Next example here, we have on the right side of this equation, we actually have like terms that we can combine. So they're both on the same side, so I can combine those. So I'm going to do that first. So combining like terms is always the first step. So on the left side, we still have 6b minus 9. I'm going to leave that alone. But here I have 1 plus, well, 8b take away 4b is just 4b. Now that I have a variable on both sides, I want to get them all on one side. So I'm going to get rid of the smaller one, the minus 4b on the right side. But if I do it to one side, I got to do it to the other side. 4b subtract out. And now I have 6b take away 4b's, and that's going to leave me with 2b's left. Minus 9 equals 1. Add 9 to both sides. The negative 9 plus 9 is 0, so I'm left with 2b plus 0, or just 2b. And 1 plus 9 is 10. And then divide both sides by 2, and we're going to get b equals 5. Okay? So now putting it all together, we're going to do all of this kind of in one shot, and let's see how it works out. So it's got distributive property. Remember I said distributive property is the first step. So I'm going to multiply the 3 plus 6x by the 6 on the outside. So I have 6 3's, which is 18. 6 times 6x is 36x. Bring down the 7x equals 7x plus 18. Now step 2, combine like terms. So I have 36x's and I'm adding 7x's. So again, they're on one side of the equation, right? The equation is where the line, where the equal sign is what splits the two sides up. So on the left side of the equal sign, there's two x's, and I can combine them. So I still have the 18, and then 36 plus 7 is going to give me 43 x's. All right. Now I have an x on both sides of the equation. I got to get them all on one side. So this is where I have to subtract an x on both sides. I always like to get rid of the smaller ones. So I'm going to subtract 7x on both sides. Okay. That leaves me with 18. 43x minus 7x is 36x. And now we have our two-step equation again. I'm going to subtract 18 on both sides. And that's going to leave me with 36x equals 18 minus 18. So those cancel out, but that just becomes 0. And if I write nothing here, then we're going to be kind of stuck. So here I actually am going to write 0 because there's nothing left on the right side of the equation. So what times 36 equals 0? Well, it's going to be 0, right? If I divide both sides by 36, we're going to get that answer. But 36 times 0 is going to be 0. 0 divided by 36 does give us 0. And so that's our solution. Okay. And now I'm going to ask you guys to go back and try to complete the ones I asked you to try, where I said you try, unless you were pausing the video. But give those ones a try. And if you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing, ring the bell for notifications, and smash that like button. This video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN.